What do you think what happens when you get a bookkeeper? I'm asking you this question because it doesn't mean that's the end of your responsibility. Your responsibility as a business owner towards your money, it still continues when you get a bookkeeper. You get different types, mostly it is, especially when you are a small business owner, you outsource those services. And then you get the in-source one. So in today's video, I just want to talk about your responsibility towards your business when you have a bookkeeper. Rule number one, when it comes to money, it is not personal. You need to take an active interest in your business. You need to know how much am I spending and how much am I making, and those numbers need to add up. You cannot rely on me as your bookkeeper to always be the eyes in your business. You need to know that and you need to be aware of it. I have always wondered, how do you manage to steal money as a bookkeeper? How is that possible? Because from what I understood, I don't have any access to your bank statements. I don't have any access where I can go and change things. That it never made sense to me. But this is how it happens. Say for instance, you outsource your services. You never take, I have access to the information, not the actual bank account. So then how is it possible that I can rob you as a client? How does it work? If you don't take an interest, if you trust me with your whole heart, because I'm such a nice person and I'm such a good bookkeeper, you even brag to people about how you don't have to check your books because your bookkeeper knows it all, then you are trading on very shaky and dangerous grounds. Because just say, for instance, your bookkeeper creates, and no one wants to talk about this, your bookkeeper creates an account on your system, a supplier that doesn't exist, and then you pay to a supplier into an account that has never, you don't even know who these people are. That's one of the ways, because you don't take an interest. Because if you were interested in your company and you knew what was going on in your books, then you would have picked up the moment there was an extra supplier that you didn't know. That's one way. Another warning sign. It cannot be that as the owner of the business, you need to ask me to log into your bank. You need to ask me to log into your platform for bookkeeping. I use QuickBooks. QuickBooks is set up in such a way that in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, when you have internet access, you can sign on and see what is going on in your books. So if you have a bookkeeper and they say to you that you must work through them for you to access your books, that's a huge warning sign. That's how people get scammed. The fact that you are locked out of your own account. It doesn't work like that. As the business owner, you are my client. The same information that I see on the system, you must be able to see at the click of a button. Anytime, anyway, as long as you have an internet access. Don't be caught napping. You know, it's a heartbreaking thing when you have worked all your life in many instances and someone takes your money, someone that you trust. And here's another thing I always say to all my clients. This is money. We all make mistakes because money is about numbers. We all make mistakes. Miscalculations happen. That's a given in this industry. But you must have the confidence and you must have the knowledge to be able to ask me when you pick up a mistake. I'm human. Bookkeepers make mistakes. Accountants make mistakes. Everybody make mistakes. But if I keep on making the same mistake with the same amount and you don't pick it up, what do you think is going to happen? Because you need to pick things up. You must be able to read your books. Do not trust when it comes to money. Look, I'm not saying that you must be a menace. I'm not saying that you must police me every second of the day. That's just irritating and unnatural. But what I am saying is, you must be able to log on at any given time and check what is going on without my permission. You cannot need my permission to sign into your own account. That's the point I want to make. So in conclusion, take an interest in your books. Know the basic bookkeeping. Know what is what in your books. Don't trust any person blindly when it comes to money. It's not personal. And I also say, if I get offended because you are questioning the cost, okay, in a certain way, I'm not saying that you must be a cheapskate, but if I get offended because you are not certain about the numbers on your books, and I get defensive when you ask about them, or I get secretive, then you must know that something is not right at all. Make sure that you have a good relationship with your bookkeeper. You need to feel comfortable, because if you are not comfortable, you won't have the confidence to ask the questions that bothers you. Know enough. Know enough so that you can say whether you've made a profit or whether you've made a loss. Because at the end of the day, it's your money, it's your company, and it's your responsibility. I can only capture what you give to me. But you also need to know what are your standards that you work by. You also need to know what is going on in your books. So having a bookkeeper, it's a partnership between the bookkeeper and the business owner. And you must be very clear on what you expect so that your expectations can be met. And if your expectations are unrealistic, you must be able to accept and understand that. And I will end up again with these words. If you think that you've never had a bookkeeper and you have 4 years of bank statements with many transactions and many receipts, or even 2 years or even 1 year, 12 months of bank statements with receipts and transactions, and you've never had a bookkeeper, and you think that you're going to pay 5,000 rand to get all of that up to scratch, you are delusional, and you must find another bookkeeper, because I am not prepared to do all that work and then you pay me 5,000. And just to distinguish again, to set up your books, to create your accounts, to create a company profile, that takes time. Only when that is done, and for that you will not pay 5,000 rand, forget it. Only when that is done and everything is in order, then we can discuss a monthly bookkeeping fee. And the monthly bookkeeping fee will depend on your behavior. That's when we can start throwing numbers around of 2,500 per month, 3,500 per month, depending on how you behave, what you give me, when you give it to me. For this and more questions, you are more than welcome to get in touch with me, and I will answer your bookkeeping questions honestly, maybe sometimes bluntly, but always I will be clear on what to expect. Thank you for watching.